back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing a full second trimester recap with you guys. It has been quite a while since I filmed my last pregnancy update. I believe I left off sharing with you guys around 18-ish weeks, something like that. And that is honestly because my second trimester has been going so much smoother than my first trimester, and so there just hasn't been a whole lot happening to make more frequent updates, I guess, interesting. There just wasn't enough to share. And so I thought I would just kind of, do a second trimester recap, and I have a whole bunch of notes to go through here on my phone with you guys. And yeah, I'm really excited to let you know how these past couple weeks have been going. So as of today, I am 27 weeks on the dot. And as far as I can tell, there is a little kind of back and forth about when exactly the third trimester starts. Some say when you turn 27 weeks, some say when you turn 28 weeks, but I'm technically in my 28th week right now since I am 27 weeks. Pregnancy timeline is just is pretty confusing. But I'm going by the app that I use, which is Pregnancy Plus, and that app says officially I am in my third trimester, and so that's what I'm going by. I just honestly, I can't believe that we're already here. The second trimester just flew by. Like, I mean, completely flew by. It took me by complete surprise too. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, my husband just kind of casually said, "Oh yeah, and it's so crazy, we'll be in the third trimester in 2 weeks." And I was like, what? Like, it hadn't even crossed my mind. Like, I had been tracking the weeks and stuff, but I guess I hadn't really looked into when the third trimester started, and so I just was not ready. Not that I wasn't ready, but I was just not, I didn't think we were there yet. It just came so fast. Also, sorry if you hear a little bit of noise from outside. As soon as I sat down to film, a huge thunderstorm decided to start rolling in. So, and my tripod keeps like moving and making weird noises, so I don't know what that's about. So there's like a crazy amount of wind going on outside, and yeah, but this is the time I have to film, so I'm just gonna kind of power through and hopefully it isn't too annoying. Okay, so like I said, I am 27 weeks. This is what baby girl looks like. I just still can't get over, whoops, that she is this big already. Like, that's so crazy to me. I can't even really wrap my head around it and really conceptualize that she's this big in my belly. It's just so crazy to me. Miles had actually a good trick that he kind of came up with, is to put the phone, because this is Pregnancy Plus allows you to have like life-size looks at what your baby is. So this is actually like, how big she is currently. And he puts kind of the head of the baby in the image on the hand, and that kind of gives you a little bit of help conceptualizing just how big your baby is. She is currently almost 14 and a half inches, 14.41, and then she's 1.93 pounds, so almost 2 pounds, which is just so crazy. Also, I believe my dog was about 2 pounds when I brought her home. So just imagining my baby being that size, it's so crazy. I can't believe how big she is already. She's mostly sleeping, and the app says, but the eyes can now partially open, and those tiny eyelids are able to blink, which is just so cute. It also says she's able to recognize different levels of light, even inside the womb, and that she is getting chubbier as fat is depositing under her wrinkled skin as she gains weight, which is just so exciting. I'm pretty sure the third trimester, the bulk of her development is based around just kind of getting bigger and gaining weight. I know there are still kind of, some physical things being developed, but I think that's kind of the biggie that she's focusing on, and most of our like calories and stuff are going to. So yeah, it's just gonna be so crazy seeing her get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the one big kind of event that we had in these last few weeks of the second trimester was our anatomy scan, which we had at 20 weeks. I forget if I went in, I don't think I was 20 weeks on the dot, but I was like maybe 20 weeks in one day or something like that. And we went in for our anatomy scan to maternal fetal medicine, and my husband obviously was able to come with me. He's been so amazing and has been coming to literally every single appointment, and I'm so grateful. So yeah, we went to that, and it was honestly my favorite ultrasound so far. It was just so cool. First of all, seeing every teeny tiny little piece of her. The ultrasound tech was really, she was, kind of descriptive. Like, I feel like there's two kinds of ultrasound techs. Some where they just get the job done, and at the end they're like, yeah, everything looks good, you're good. And then there's another kind that kind of talks you through it and, tells you what you're looking at. And that's obviously, I prefer getting ultrasound text like that because I like to know, what I'm looking at and getting a little feedback as we're seeing the ultrasound image. And so she was showing us all the little, like femur bones and arm bones. Little girl has 10 fingers and 10 toes as far as we can tell. And yeah, we went into like, her heart ventricles and into just like, measured all her tiny different little organs, and it was just such a cool experience, because obviously it's way more in depth than any of the other ultrasounds that we've been to previously. And also on that note, since she was, more developed than she has been previously, we were actually really able to get a good look at her profile and kind of really see what she looks like. And so this was the first ultrasound where she didn't really just look like, a generic ultrasound image that could be anyone's baby. She really, we could see her features and kind of start to get an idea about what she's gonna look like, which was just so cool. We're pretty sure she has my little nose, which is just really fun. And yeah, I just could not get enough of looking at that cute little profile, and we got a bunch of pictures. I did forget to bring up those sets of ultrasound pictures, but I'll try and take a quick clip of it and insert them here somewhere so you guys can see what she looked like back at 20 weeks. But yeah, I really enjoyed that ultrasound for that reason. And it just really made her kind of real as a little tiny person in there. And I have just gotten more and more excited to meet her as this pregnancy has progressed, and kind of more and more anxious to be done with the pregnancy, just because I'm so excited for her to be here and to meet her and to, meet her and learn who she is and have my baby girl. And as far as the medical side of the anatomy scan, everything was looking perfect. If anything, she was measuring ahead, I believe by about like 1 week, so not, drastically ahead, which I believe is also a problem, but just, measuring a little bit ahead, which I think is, in my mind, it's good, because you always want, like, I don't know, I feel like as babies, it's better for babies to be a little bigger rather than a little smaller, like health-wise, but regardless, I don't know, that's just my kind of understanding of things. I could be completely making that up in my head. But yeah, the doctor said everything looked great. They were looking at like the something with her spine to make sure that her I think spinal cord was closed or formed correctly, and it was, which was great. So yeah, that was an excellent appointment, and that was kind of our only real fun event. We've been obviously going to my regular midwife appointments. We're still at the 1 appointment per month stage, although I believe I have my next appointment at on the 30th of this month, and I believe after that appointment I'm going to start going once every 2 weeks until I'm 36 weeks, and then I think it's once a week type of thing. So yeah, still at the once a month stage of things, but we are quickly getting out of that. So yeah, let's talk about symptoms. Like I said, overall my second trimester has been miles and miles better than my first trimester. Pretty much as soon as my first trimester ended, I know I've gone over this a little bit in previous updates, but pretty much as soon as my trimester, sorry if you can hear that thunder, as soon as my first trimester ended, week by week, my symptoms slowly and gradually went away. I know some women say that, they just wake up and their symptoms are gone, but that wasn't my experience. It was kind of more a slow and gradual decrease in symptoms until I was pretty much as normal as I can expect to feel while I'm pregnant. And so I have just been soaking that up the last, couple of months or so, since I've been feeling better my second trimester, since I was so miserable in my first trimester. And it's really just been great being able to actually enjoy being pregnant, because I had very much looked forward to being pregnant, and so it's just such a disappointment and a letdown to feel so cruddy and to just kind of just to feel so horrible and not be able to actually enjoy it. So feeling healthy and having my energy back and being able to just function like a human being once again has been incredible. I've been able to start doing stuff around the house again, which my husband has obviously appreciated, because previously he was working full-time plus taking care of literally every single thing, feeding me as I needed to be fed, doing the dishes, doing all the cooking, doing all the cleaning, doing all the laundry, doing everything. So, yeah, and that just doesn't make me feel good, because I don't want him to have to come home from work and, still have to work, basically. So I have loved not being a slug on the couch and being able to actually help out around here again. The only kind of negative symptom that has really persisted throughout this second trimester is the kind of bloating and overly full feeling and I guess indigestion that I've had my first trimester, but it is nowhere near the magnitude that it was, which I'm really appreciative of. I'm not sure if I had started this during my last pregnancy update that I shared, but I have started taking daily Metamucil, which has been a lifesaver for me. It's it's not pleasant. It's like a powder that you mix in with water and you kind of have to like chug it. And I mean, it doesn't taste horrible, but it's not the best thing in the world. And but honestly, the benefits that I have received is just so overly worth it to me. I do kind of go through ups and downs with my stomach and that like really bloated, over full feeling, but for the most part, I do feel like completely normal, and I can pretty much eat whatever I want to without, worrying that it's really gonna mess with my stomach. I guess my worst feeling part of the day is kind of at night, after dinner, when we're like going, lying down and going to bed. I still will feel kind of, just yucky at that time of day, but again, nothing like the first trimester, and it's just been completely manageable and bearable. So I'm trying not to, complain too much about that, because overall I am really doing completely fine. It's just, this is a pregnancy update, so those are kind of the negative symptoms that I have been experiencing, but really they haven't been bothering me too much, and I'm more than willing to just kind of deal with them if that's the worst that it's been. As far as sleep goes, that has also been going pretty well for me. I was experiencing a pretty high amount of pregnancy insomnia in my first trimester, and I'm not exactly sure if that was purely pregnancy insomnia or if it was kind of connected to the fact that I was just feeling so horrible, and so that would kind of keep me up and wake me up. My midwife did put me on diclegis. Again, I'm not sure if I had started this in my last update or if I had started after I shared, but I have been on diclegis for the last couple months, and that has helped immensely, mostly with sleeping, to be honest. And I have been able to pretty much sleep through the night every single night. I still have some nights where it's a little harder to fall asleep, and it'll take me like an hour plus to fall asleep, and sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just be awake. But for the most part, I'm able to sleep just fine, and that hasn't been an issue, which I am super grateful for. I am sleeping an insane amount of time. There's no way to sugarcoat that. I basically sleep at least 12 hours a night. It's ridiculous, but I mostly haven't needed to take naps during the day, which is nice. Sometimes I'll go through these periods where I assume she's going through a growth spurt or something, and my energy just really dips, and I do need to start taking naps during the day again, and I'm just really fatigued. But again, for the most part, I have pretty normal energy. I just need to get, a lot of sleep at night, and then I'm fine during the day. And yeah, I've just been kind of trying to be really gentle with my body and giving it what it needs, and it's telling me, I need this much sleep, and so that's what I've been doing. I also did start using my big honkin' pregnancy pillow. I have one of the U-shaped ones, and I started using that maybe about a month ago. I started getting pretty bad back pain while I was sleeping. My husband and I also bought a new purple mattress because we really wanted to make sure that A, while I'm pregnant, and B, while we have a newborn, we want to make sure that our mattress isn't the reason we're not getting good sleep. And we've just been wanting one for a while, and so we finally pulled the trigger and got ourselves a purple mattress. So the combination of the purple mattress and the pregnancy pillow, I have been sleeping very well. And yeah, so the pregnancy pillow is a massive thing, but it kind of is nice to support me from all sides. And yeah, so I've been using that, and again, I've been getting pretty good sleep. And kind of the same goes for my appetite. Once things kind of leveled out from the first trimester, I was able to really start eating pretty normally again. I've always been a grazer, and so I'm kind of used to eating smaller meals plus snacking throughout the day. So pregnancy hasn't really been, the first trimester, obviously, when my appetite and everything was all out of whack, was completely, a shock. But the way things have been going in the second trimester these last couple of months has just kind of been how I've been eating normally. I wouldn't say my appetite is, super, much higher than it normally is when I'm not pregnant. Maybe a little bit more. I have to pay attention a little bit more to making sure that I am constantly eating, because the effects are worse if I go too long without eating. But yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of business as usual. I'm able to eat pretty much whatever I want, which means I've been able to introduce a lot more fruits and vegetables back into my diet. I've been snacking on a whole bunch of like watermelon and cantaloupe, carrots and ranch. I've been really into mandarin oranges, and just regular oranges, some mangoes, and just kind of trying to really get those healthy snacks in now. since I am able to actually eat them now. But on the flip side of that, in the past, I would say month or so, I have really started to crave sweets, which I hear that's kind of the typical craving when you're pregnant with a girl. If you're pregnant with a boy, you're supposed to crave salty, and with a girl, you're supposed to crave sweet. And I normally don't have a crazy sweet tooth. I'm more of a savory person, but this past month I have been going crazy with the sugar. I'm not going crazy. I've been trying to control myself, but my cravings for sugar have been going crazy. And so I've been allowing myself to have some root beer, which is kind of like my treat drink, because normally I'm a Dr. Pepper girl at heart. I love Dr. Pepper, but I just personally don't want to drink that much caffeine. I know you're allowed to have daily caffeine, but while I haven't cut it completely out, I still get Starbucks occasionally on the weekends. I just prefer not to have caffeine that frequently, and that's just been my personal preference on that topic since being pregnant. I will still indulge in a Dr. Pepper every once in a while, but on a more regular basis, since my cravings have been higher, I went to root beer kind of as a substitute so that I'm not constantly getting that caffeine. And I've also been trying to get like the healthier root beer with like, you know, less sugar and, or I guess not sugar, but high fructose corn syrup. That's the one, pregnancy brain. So I've been doing that. I've been really into like Oreos and these, I think it's called Lindeman's cookies. I finally got a pack of those again recently, and those are my favorite chocolate chip cookies. They are delicious, and so I've been all about that. But yeah, I've just been really super craving sugar, basically. Alright, and so as far as kind of like the bump in the baby goes, she has, I believe as of last update, she was starting to kick, you know, and I shared that I could feel her kick, Miles could feel her kick, and she's only, you know, been kicking and moving more and more since then, which has been really fun to experience. My absolute favorite part of pregnancy so far has been feeling the baby kicks with Miles, and kind of, you know, especially because it can be a little hard because it's not like she just will sit there and kick repeatedly, so it was kind of sometimes hard to get him over to my belly to feel when she was kicking in time before she kind of stopped. So it was just really cool once, you know, when he was on there at the right time and she would kick, and we kind of like, you know, both look at each other like, did you feel that? Did you feel that? You know, and just kind of feeling that excitement with someone else, because obviously I feel every single kick, but being able to really like experience that with my husband, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a really special experience, and that has by far been one of my favorite things about pregnancy so far. It has also just obviously been fun to feel her on her own. And yeah, like I said, she's been kicking more and more. It hasn't gotten to a point where it's uncomfortable at all yet. She definitely has a really active period kind of around 10 or 11 at night, and so Miles and I are guessing that's when she's going to kind of wake up for, you know, another feed and a change or something before going back down for the night once she's here. And she's started doing this really funny thing in the last couple of days where there will be no activity, and then all of a sudden it's like there's a disco going on in there, and I can't even tell like what she's doing. It's just like every part of her is shaking and vibrating. It's just like, and that it goes on for like 10 to 15 seconds, and then she chills and she stops. So I don't know what that's about, what's going on in there, but that's been really funny. You can also see her movement from the outside. I haven't gotten Miles to see it yet because, again, it's kind of just really hard. You know, I don't want to have him stare at my belly for like, you know, 5-10 minutes and there's like no activity. It's just like really hard and boring. But so it's kind of hard to get him to look while she's moving in the right spot. But we'll get there eventually, because the movements are still, I think, on the smaller-ish side, although they have been getting gradually, obviously, more and more pronounced. But I've been able to see her move quite a bit, which is really fun and really freaky. It's just not something you ever, you know, I guess can prepare yourself for seeing your stomach, you know, do all sorts of like, it's crazy. If you're pregnant, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, another fun thing she's been doing is she has been responding to Miles's voice. So he'll obviously, you know, he can get right up to the belly and talk to her, and since he's, you know, a man and has a deeper voice, I think it kind of, I don't know, I've heard like babies, you know, like bass in music and stuff like that, which she's also been responding to. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so she can like really hear his voice really well, I think, and so they'll kind of like go back and forth. He'll say something to her, and then she'll kick, and then he'll say something, and then she'll kick, and it's happened enough times that we kind of know it's not coincidence that, you know, she actually is responding to his voice. We've, you know, done it, you know, on several different occasions, and so that has also been so cool to see, because again, it's kind of a reminder that it's this little person in there that you can interact with, and it's just, it's so crazy. It's so cool. I've also been playing music for her, and she really likes the Moana soundtrack, specifically the songs sung by men. So she really likes the song You're Welcome by The Rock. She likes the song that the dad sings about no one leaving the island, and a couple of the other ones. The ones where Moana's singing, she's not really into it, and I think, again, it's because there's not a whole lot of bass in those songs, there's not a whole lot of drums, and her voice is higher. So yeah, I've definitely noticed that. It's just been really cool to see her kick and react to things, you know, out in the real world. Okay, and I think the last thing that I have to share with you guys before we jump up and do the bump shot is we have officially picked baby girl's name. If you've been following my vlog channel, you already know that we've picked the name. We haven't revealed it yet to the wide YouTube world, but we have told you know, parents and family and friends and stuff, so everyone kind of in our real world life knows her name. I do plan on doing a reveal video for that on this channel at some point pretty soon probably, so keep your eye out for that if you would like to know baby girl's name. I absolutely love it. I think it's a perfect mixture of being feminine and beautiful, while also being kind of strong and not funky, but just kind of, you know, a little edgier. Not super frilly, so I don't know, I love her name, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But alright, let's break out the bump and show you guys how that's looking. Okay, so here is what the big old baby bump is looking like at 27 weeks. I would definitely say I have popped. Here's what it looks like from the front. Miles and I have been going through like some old pictures and just kind of seeing how the bump has progressed, and it's just so crazy. I would say in the last 3 to 4 weeks is when it really kind of popped out there. But yeah, this is what baby girl is looking like. It's just, again, so crazy seeing my body pregnant, because obviously this is my first time. But let's see what she's looking like without the clothes. So here's the belly in all its glory. I am super lucky and haven't gotten any stretch marks so far, but I mean, obviously you can't really help getting stretch marks, so if I get them, I get them, and then I'll deal with them. I'm not too worried about that, but I definitely am grateful that I haven't gotten any so far. My belly button definitely has started to pop. It isn't fully out there yet, and I do have my belly button ring still in. My midwife said that I could keep it on through birth if I wanted. My plan has kind of always been to just keep it in until it started bothering me and then take it out, so it hasn't started bothering me, so it's still in there. My skin has definitely started to get a little itchier in the last week or so, and so I've been putting more and more lotion on it just to, you know, I guess help it stretch and to help with the itchiness. But other than that, my skin doesn't feel super tight, or, you know, I don't know, it doesn't feel uncomfortable yet. I feel like that's going to be coming in the 3rd trimester, but yeah, this is where we are currently at, so let's see how big this big old belly is. Okay, so I forget what I was, whoops, it's upside down. I forget exactly what I was last time I measured, but obviously I have gained quite a few inches, I'm sure, since then. Let's see. I am around 38, no, let's see. Yeah, right at 38, I think, and I think that's kind of centered all the way around. It's getting harder and harder to make sure this tape measure is in the right spot, but yeah, it looks like I am exactly at 38 inches, which is just so crazy. I also have to share my weight with you guys, and I'm pretty comfortable with my weight gain so far. Let's see, this morning I was 132.6, and so that means I have a total of 9 pounds gained in my entire pregnancy. However, that was with about a 5-pound weight loss in my first trimester. And I was already kind of above my normal healthy weight when I got pregnant, I feel like. So kind of going off of the lowest weight that I dropped to in my first trimester, I've kind of also been tracking my weight gain based on that, since that's a more accurate, healthy weight for me. I don't know, if it matters. My midwife obviously is also keeping track whenever I go to her appointments, and she's completely fine with my weight gain so far. But anyways, if I were to go off of that weight as my pre-pregnancy weight, I would have gained a total of 13.8 pounds. Honestly, that's on the lower end of where I should be gaining at this point, according to my app. My app said I believe I should be gaining around 17 to 24, I believe, pounds by this point. But again, my doctor's not worried. I've always been on kind of the lower end of the weight things anyways. I'm really not worried about how much weight I've gained. But yeah, those are the numbers for anyone that's interested. I also did start kind of looking into and planning for the birth. So I do hope to do a all-natural, no epidural birth. I mean, I'm a realist, and so that may not happen, but that would be my my birth goal, basically. And I'll try and be utilizing hypnobirthing to help me achieve that goal. And I recently bought the hypnobirthing book. I did a lot of research into, the different resources and stuff that you can use to prepare yourself for hypnobirthing, and that was a highly rated book, so I got that. I haven't really started reading it yet. A lot of people, I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos of women who have had successful hypnobirths, and they said that they mostly started reading their books and listening to the, recordings or whatever around 30 weeks, so I have a little bit of time. I mean, obviously I have the entire third trimester to prepare myself, and I don't want to kind of read things too early and then forget them by the time I go to, give birth. I don't know. But yeah, I have that all prepared. We've been slowly working on the nursery. We've been mostly focusing on painting as of now. We've also been buying a few things here and there. We haven't really gotten anything set up in there yet because we're kind of just waiting to finish painting, and then we'll get everything set up. And I think that's pretty much all I have to share with you guys. Again, like I said, this second trimester has just been miles and worlds better than my first trimester, and I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, I hope my third trimester is just as lovely, although I have a feeling that I'm going to start becoming a little more uncomfortable as I get, bigger and bigger and near the end of things. But it's just, honestly, even if it gets worse, kind of knowing that you're so close, no matter how bad it gets, it's, you're only a month or 2 or 3 away at any point, so it's, it'll be manageable. So, well, I say that now, but hopefully it will be manageable no matter how miserable I get. And the one thing that has been pretty miserable, though, is the heat. This past week, it's been pretty consistently like 100 degrees, and it's been very humid. So that has been super not fun to experience while I'm pregnant. But, what can you do? I've just been staying inside the air conditioning as much as possible. I have been hydrating a heck of a lot. And yeah, that's that. But, yeah, I think that's all I have to share with you guys, and I'm going to wrap things up before I ramble on for another 5 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this second trimester recap, and please give it a big thumbs up if you did. And don't forget to subscribe down below to my channel if you would like to follow future pregnancy and baby related and soon mommyhood videos. I will definitely be sharing a whole lot of those in the future. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!